Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today we saw the new M. Night Shyamalan feature film Trap and we're seriously disappointed. And so on the lookout for fun, excitement, and murder in a video game, of course, we turn instead to Age of Empires, where Vivi, playing as the Gurjaras in blue, is getting ready to take on Mr. Yo, playing as the Malay in red. Now, while the players herd their herdables, explore their explorables, and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP, not a bad opportunity for us to take a look at the Civ matchup that we are going to be watching today. Now, the Gurjaras are a civilization that focuses on man's other four-legged best friends, horses, camels, and elephants. Their camels and elephants are created faster. All of their mounted units deal progressively more bonus damage as the game goes on, 20% in Feudal, all the way up to 40% more bonus damage in Imperial. Their camel line and their elephant archer units can be upgraded to make them much harder to kill with a huge +4 melee armor boost. And their first unique unit, the Shravamsha Rider, is a lightning-fast cavalry unit that can actually dodge enemy projectiles. Now, to support their mounted units against pesky, annoying, maybe infantry units like pikemen or halberdiers that might want to use their long, shafty boys to pin down your mounted units, well, the Gurjaras can field a second unique unit, the Chakram Thrower. This is an infantry unit with a ranged melee attack who throws discs, much like Xena Warrior Princess. And like her discs, the one thrown by the Chakrams can hit multiple targets at once. And even though their damage output is pretty darn low, I think 3 for the base model, 4 for the elite, the pass-through damage, like a Rambai, is 100%. And they do come with a small attack bonus against infantry. Now, to help the Gurjaras build up their militaries, if you notice in the beginning of the game, they do start with 2 free bushes underneath the TC. They can garrison their livestock inside of the mill, which is why you'll see these goats in a second. Once their friends join them, this is a couple's retreat apparently, are going to insert themselves into the mill. And take a look at the top left of your screen where my mouse is. 60 food becomes 61, well, 2, 3, and so forth, unit by unit, if food increases. Now, the Gurjaras can also upgrade their entire military-industrial complex so that all of their military units cost 25% less food. Now, let's take a look at who those cheaper food-costing military units might want to attack in this game. The Malay, played by Mr. Yo in red today, primarily a naval civilization, but one that comes with a few late-game land features that are ridiculously powerful. To start with, their battle elephants are notoriously cheaper than usual, 25% cheaper in Castle, 35% in Imperial. They get all infantry armor upgrades for free, so we'll see when Mr. Yo goes up to Feudal. This box here in the middle, the first one underneath the sword, will highlight automatically. Their militia line units can be upgraded to cost only food, so while they don't actually get champions, this upgrade, called Force Levy, when combined with the supplies upgrade, basically turns Malay two-handed swordsmen into fairly cheap trash units that only cost 65 food. Now lastly, to get some late game rating to overwhelm your opponent on perhaps their side of the map, the Malay can turn to their unique unit, the Karambit Warrior. This is an incredibly cheap, super fast, but on the whole, relatively weak infantry unit that only takes up half a population space. So if you've got 100 of them, they only give you 50 population space, or rather, they only take up 50 population space. Now, in order to help you get these late game features, units, bonuses, and upgrades as fast as possible, the Malay do advance to the next age a lot quicker than your usual civilization, which means you can either rush to the to the next age, or if you prefer to focus on your economy for a while, maybe stare at these pretty blue butterflies that are circling these beautiful lemon bushes. You can do so, and then catch up to your opponent fairly quickly. Once Mr. Yo does click up to Feudal, I'll point out the time. I guess I might as well do it now. Usually, for example, our Gurjara will take 130 seconds, so just a little bit over 2 minutes to get to Feudal Age. The Malay, 78 seconds, just a little over 1 minute to get. So you can see it is a massive time savings. And by the way, as we go up to Castle and hopefully even Imperial, those savings of time, the discount, the shorter period uptime, I don't know exactly how to say, you know what I'm talking about, will get more and more noticeable. For now, it is our Malay moving out onto the enemy side of the map. And speaking of, why don't we take a look at the actual map that we're on today? Big old open space to the left of the Malay base, big old open space to the right of the Gurjara base. Pretty much a fairly standard A to B. Not a lot of forest coverage for either player. And let's see here for now. Ooh, Loomless Villagers. And he's not in Feudal yet. Okay, he is in Feudal, but loses a villager to Vivi. Oh, when you skip Loom to get the quicker uptime off the back of 16 villagers. Our Gurjara really wants to compete to get up to the next age with the Malay. And so to do so, he cut a lot of corners, and because of that, Vivi loses 3 villagers. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Let's see if that is detrimental. Let's see how bad that actually is, because now Vivi's down 5. A second ago, he was down 6 villagers as Mr. Yo hits Feudal Age. Primary gold for him. I don't even want to call it exposed anymore, because Mr. Yo knows exactly where it is and now sees that it is not 100% walled in just yet. Primary stone, as well as both additional gold patches, are to the rear, as is a nice little forest. Not bad, not bad. Where's your secondary stone? Outside of your TC. So out of the 5 starting resources, 4 of them are kind of in the rear / side positions for our Malay. Let's take a look. Gold also not really safe, not really in danger with this wall off here to the north. Should be secure. Primary stone in the forward position, as is both extra patches of gold. That's not good. And where's your additional stone off campus? You have walled yourself out of it entirely. Forests, north, easy to wall off. West, meaning the forward position, not very easy to wall off. Gazelles, get the hell out of the way, says the scout as he turns around a little bit. And the forests for our Gurjara, 1, 2, 3, in a bit of a triangle shape, but way too far away to be of any kind of use whatsoever. Gurjaras do start the game with a Camel Scout, one of the only 2 unique units, in case you ever get called onto the podcast to do, test your Age of Empires knowledge. One of the only 2 unique units, if you want to call this a unique instead of regional. I think we'll call it a unique unit that can be trained in the Feudal Age of the second, being, can you think of it? I'm gonna let it simmer for a second before I reveal the answer here, as our Gurjara presses in. Might get a villager kill of his own right now, Vivi. Might get 2 villager kills here. Ooh, okay, I got excited there for a whole lot of nothing. This one villager is very, very close to being dead. The second is the Sergeant of the Sicilians. Okay, Vivi. He's got to get something accomplished here. Killing 2 militia in exchange for 3 villagers. I mean, the food cost is not dissimilar, but in terms of usefulness to your overall game, very much. I don't think I've ever met anyone who would rather lose 3 villagers than 2 militias, but all of a sudden, 2 more kills for Vivi, one of them being a villager. Another villager comes under attack. He is using the mobility of his army and the slower movement of these spearmen to just run circles around the Malay units. Ooh, will he get the villager to the left before the spearman comes? He will definitely get the villager to the right. Okay, okay, a second kill. Oh, but loses his scout. Oh my goodness, 1 whack of the sword away from dying, right? She's got 4 HP with 1 melee. The scout attacks on a 5. That villager was dead meat. And now Mr. Yo, look at the garrisoning here. Okay, half walled in. He built the gate but left the tile open. So a good attempt, but attempt failed. Oh my goodness. Mr. Yo is in just emergency mode right now. These lightning fast units of the Gurjara are just running circles around his spearmen, who are just basically trying to catch up, as if their life depended on it. And FYI, it does. As much as these 1s and 0s on our screens have quote-unquote life, who knows? Maybe we're all living in a simulation. Maybe the Matrix was right. Maybe all of the new age spirituality has a point. And maybe you'll wake up one day in blips and chips, having gone through, what was it, Ray? What was the name of the, was it Ray or Steve? What was the name of the person whose life you played in Blips and Chips within Rick and Morty? I think it was Ray, right? Okay. Finally finding a location where that wasn't walled off, but loses a scout instead of killing a villager. Spearmen are here, but their minimum range betrays them as the villagers move in. Spearmen move in, archers move in. Anyone and everyone from this red settlement is defending the homeland, the motherland right now. Back home, a market is going up, but an archery range and a stable already up. So Vivi does have the requisite structures, does not have the requisite food. Just a little bit more gold as well. Are there 2 villagers here? Oh my god, there's 2 villagers here. I thought we got rid of stacking in Age of Empires. I say it every single game. It's such a weird thing to see, both as a caster and I'm sure more importantly as a player. Units stacked on right on top of each other. Kill counts have been evened with the death of that one last spearman that we saw a second ago, but villager kills. Mysterio still has that one extra villager kill. That being said, he is down a villager now. And on the whole, a fairly scary army here for Feudal Age out of our Gurjara, who is now just 50 nuggets away from clicking up to the Castle Age. Mysterio, for his part, has the gold, but has nothing else. He's still almost 500 food away. Vivi, did you really need to buy 100 food? I don't think he needed to buy 100 food. You just wanted to rush his ass up to Castle Age. King of the Hill Spearman is going to try to take on 6 of his enemy opposing guild members. Are there guilds in Age of Empires? Are there associations and unions? Like a red spearman versus a blue spearman. The only difference is, you know, like Bloods and Crips. One's wearing a blue color, one's wearing a red color. Maybe their hand signs, their gang signs are a little different. But I wonder if in Age of Empires there's like a spearman's guild. And then depending on your settlement, whether you're the blue faction or the red faction, the green or the orange, you belong to a different union or different guild. But anyway, Age of Empires stoner thoughts away. Our Malay, who clicked up many moons after his opponent, will in fact hit the next age at the exact same time, perhaps a massive 2 seconds behind, because whereas it takes Vivi 160 seconds, Mysterio 96. So over a minute of save time for our Malay as he loses yet another scout attempting to kill a villager. Let's see if Mysterio can get some damage. It's been a long time since Mysterio been's on this side of the map. We'll keep an eye with the picture-in-picture to see if anything is happening on the other side of the map. It looks like Vivi lost yet. Oh, he looks like he lost his Camel Scout, actually. I don't see that unit anywhere on his units tab. Okay, Mysterio's back with a vengeance. Gets a 4th villager kill. And now, damn you, housing. Bodko. Oh, you know what? I've been looking for a crossbow bodkin nickname. Bodko sounds pretty damn good. The old Bodko combo. Bodkin and crossbow. Look at that. When you have a brain fart that inadvertently gives you a fantastic new word. Shravamshas are out. Base model dodges 5 projectiles. You'll see that white bar underneath the unit regenerating. I believe it takes 20 seconds. Elite model does dodge 7. Okay, a bit of weird way to ungarrison your unit when you can ungarrison him this way, but these units, Castle Age, are enough. At least for now, before reinforcements show up. Vivi's army on the other side of the map. That one last scout is done, and out comes a 25% discounted Waddly Boy. Okay. So, I don't think we've ever seen elephants taking on Shravamshas at the 22-minute mark of the game. Shravamshas, their attack redonkulously weak. Their speed redonkulously fast. Still no husbandry for our Gurjara, who might want to get it very quickly, very soon, so that he can start running circles around these glorified archer units, which is what crossbows really are. Attacking, but also dying. Somehow this elephant is still around. Where's the monastery? There's the monastery, of course. Vivi with the immediate counter unit does have enough gold. And I only see 1 elephant unit. Now, the good news for Vivi, even though he's not really killing units in high quantities, as they stream in, he seems to be injuring them with these Shravamshas and then just running away to let the bar underneath the icon there regenerate so that he can dodge more arrows. But unfortunately, no more arrows for Mysterio. Monk should be able to shoot, or at the very least have a forced deletion of this elephant. Yeah, I think it's 20 seconds for the Gurjaras, both the base model and the elite. And it looks like Mysterio wanted to send out an army across the map, thought about it, and then decided against it. Okay, never mind. No deletion, no conversion. Option number 3. Vivi gives up. Mysterio runs away. Plops down a second TC, as we saw a second ago, and the Shravamshas are going to discover it. But I feel like they're still not moving fast enough. No. By the way, this is 1.6 without husbandry. This is without husbandry. This is how fast they move. As fast as a camel with husbandry. Faster than a cavalry archer with husbandry. What a ridiculous unit. Fully upgraded, I think 1.76 if I'm not mistaken. But for now, choosing to go light cavalry with a little bit of extra melee, pierce armor rather, should be able to shoo away both the monks and the crossbow force. Aside from that, these units are already +1/+1. Crossbows we thought have Bodkin absolutely no armor upgrades, and now we're transitioning into infantry here for our Malay, whose northern settlement becomes the next target for the ire of the Shrivamshas. Oh my god, what is this? Oh, and Mr. Yo just deletes the chunky boy. Does not want to give his opponent that unit. 2 monks? What are the monks for? I mean, you can't possibly imagine you're going to convert a light cav or even a Shrivamsha, right? They're just way too fast. Husbandry? Now, let's look at the lightning speed of this unit. 1.76 tiles per second. I mean, what's faster than that? They trade unit with a caravanserai to support it? Oh my god, I'm the idiot. You're not going to convert any Shrivamsha, says the caster, as Mr. Yo converts a Shrivamsha. Well, there you go. I'm going to hand in my caster card, my credentials. Oh, monk shows up at the worst possible time. Mr. Yo uses that moment, that opportunity, that split second to shoot that monk full of bolts. And now the usefulness of the Shrivamsha is about to meet the pike of the pikemen. But that could have been a lot worse. That, in fact, was absolutely nothing. Shrivamsha is not exactly the most heavily HP'd unit in terms of cavalry. Basically, Manaspas without all that armor. And Mr. Yo's back with a small force. I mean, the pikemen are here to defend the one crossbow against Shrivamshas. Does he really think he can get that much damage done with one crossbowman? All right. Action happening in front of the TC down south. This is absolutely hilarious. What is the point of all these pikemen when you just brought in one crossbowman? Okay. Units are being lost for both. Our Gurjara has gone up to 52 kills to the 36 of his opponents. 6 villager kills to 5. So numbers are fairly even. Looks like our Malay is gathering a few more resources than his opponent off the back of 1 extra villager. And now a Scorpion is out and should be enough to shoo away. Now this would be an absolute epic time to see some chakram throws to try to shoo away these pikemen, just like the Scorpions are doing. Unfortunately, Vivi, even though he has 10 villagers on stone, does not actually have the stone. Monsieur has 100 less stone than he needs, which I'm assuming he's going to buy once he gets up to 550. Yeah, there we go. And this big old blob of villagers is moving out. Shrivamshas have busted in. Is this open? There's an opening in the forest. I say this so many times, so frequently. Whenever you jack your wood too long, it does leave openings, and you have to very much micro against that. Even against a unit as weak as a Shrivamsha, it is going to run havoc and run amok and go crazy, even with its just 8+1 attack. Dodging town center fire makes it basically invincible. Looks like on the other side of that, Mysterio has gotten his castle up, and immediately, okay, mission accomplished. I mean, it's a long way to bring your villagers just to return them home, but okay. Karambits are being trained. Okay. So the initial force of some pikemen and a single crossbowman have now become some pikemen with a few crossbowmen, a few karambits to support, but more importantly, a big, juicy castle right here in the face of our Gurjara base. Our Gurjara, by the way, still has those Shrivamshas running around the rear of the Malay base. And right as I finish that sentence, they do ultimately perish. Let's see if they can close in on this mangonel, or if there will be enough body blocking. No, they go after the Scorpion. They get it immediately. Siege units, you are not Teuton. You do not have any kind of melee armor here. You know what? For a few karambits, which are ridiculously cheap, if you're not familiar with the cost of a karambit, get ready for this. 15 gold. 1-5. Not 5-0. 1-5 gold. and barely any food. 25 food. 40 total resources for this unit. That only costs half a population space. So Missio's 8 Karambits are technically only taking up 4 population room. Oh, he is managing to pick off monks and a mangonel as well. Okay, okay. Small little clumps of units, and Missio has begun the Hydra attack. Head left, head north, head center has been decapitated with the death of those Karambits. Oh my god, what a trail. What an absolute trail of dead bodies left here. But now we've got some pikemen. Surprised they even have 1 kill. Mistrio going for another castle. I mean, this these poor villagers. First they were sent all the way here, then back. Now they're being sent all the way here, hopefully not back. Hopefully he's discovered this gold now and knows that there's a bit of a patch nearby. I see the discs of the chakram. And again, even though the attack is a base of a 100% pass-through damage, very much like I mentioned earlier, like the feature of the Arambai. And unlike a lot of ranged units, this one does not have minimum range, I don't believe. No. Mangonel shelling away. But the Gurjara base has been secured for now. Got to deal with this Mangonel, though, as a second castle almost. Yeah, 3/4 of the way done. But counter castle to the left, countering the right. Counter castle to the top, countering the one at the bottom. Oh, and the mill is destroyed, and those 8 goats abandon ship and say, you know what? In case you're wondering, that's me sniffing the air. We smell the winds of change and the way the war is going, and we are now becoming Malay goats. Oh, damn you, lumber camp. Okay. In the midst of war, in the midst of the attack, the lumber camp is always the first to fall. It's always the first victim. And here we go. Imperial Age for Vivi. Immediately a Treb to the south. No Treb just yet. He doesn't have the wood for it. Oh, that lumber camp, as much as I was making fun of it, was actually apparently quite vital, because he does not have the wood for a second Treb. Now he has. Missio still a minute 16. So you and I, when we want to go up to Imperial Age, takes us just over 3 minutes, 190 seconds. The Malay 114, just under 2 minutes. So more than a minute savings in time, which explains why Missio is only 45 seconds away before he himself can start getting Trebs out. He moves forward with his Karambits, but a row of houses should be enough to make them rethink their life choices. There is a palisade wall behind this as well. Travamsha tries to intercede. He gets what's a-coming to him, and this Treb is safe and secure, shelling away at this Malay castle to the north. Town center is under attack. More Karambits, more Karambits. I mean, you're going Karambits against a civilization that has one of the coolest anti-infantry units. I wonder if people understand my Xena, the Xena Warrior Princess references as a Karambit steps his toe over the line. This is open! This is open! Oh no, that is 2 dead Trebs. Karambits, as weak as they are, as HP-less as they are. Oh man, there's so many of them. No, wow, okay. Okay. Well, there you go. We saw a game recently where the lack of vision of a town center led to the deaths of certain cavalry archers, which led to the GG of a certain player against the Viper. And now the lack of a single palisade, maybe some here as well, leads to the death of 2 Trebs. And as much as Vivi defended up here to the north with this row of housing, absolutely forgot about the right side and the bottom. And now the Karambits are here. The Karambits are here. What's going on? The town center has fallen to the north. And even though Vivi is putting some kind of defense up, the Mangonel looks like it has crushed through a bunch of chakrams before they got it. But now they're under attack by the Mangonel. And remember, this is 3+1 melee damage to a unit that has no melee armor. So they're not terrible at taking down Mangonels. But I suspect it's really the loss of army group south here for our Gurjara. Does he have any army here at all? He has 1 chakram here in the front position and a converted Karambit. Where are you, Mr. Converted Karambit? What am I missing here? Why is it? Am I blind? Oh no, sorry, because I highlighted the red units too. Oh my god, I feel like I've lost my mind. Where are you? And why is it still highlighting these? Oh my god, he's standing next to the mill. No wonder I couldn't see him. The karambit he's holding. These are called karambits, I believe. The knives that they're holding is blending into the construction of the mill. I am sorry, I went like full OCD, like Rain Man here. Like gotta find the karambit. Gotta find the karambit. One karambit. One karambit. A lot of queens. A lot of queens. But in any event, Mr. Yo, despite a good amount of pushback from our guru, they made it to the other side of the map. Despite a good amount of pushback from our Gurjara, and despite some fun Shrivamsha activities, does manage to hold. And then with not maybe the largest of army groups, but large enough, manages to absolutely... And there's also a scorpion here. I see the puff of smoke from the villager, and that is not a puff of smoke that you want as a villager. He absolutely just attacks way too many places at once. And even though he actually has fewer villagers than the Gurjara, he does have 3 times more military, almost 3.5 times more military. Shrivamshas came out early, they came out strong, and then they died. They were here for a good time, not a long time, and then they were replaced with a Karambit swarm. And Chakrams, like I said, should in theory on paper counter the Karambits, but the numbers just weren't there for our Gurjara. PKPM, ooh, double digits, interesting, in the beginning of the game. Mr. Yo, okay, well that absolutely disproves my theory that when his PKPM is the beginning of the game, he loses, because it is in the beginning of the game, and he didn't game and then he didn't lose. I kind of stuttered that sentence there a little bit, kind of flew into one another, those words. Mr. Yo, ignoring relics, but does take all 4 resources. Let's take a look. Just a little tiny bit more stone, a little bit more gold, a little bit more food, and a little bit more wood leads to about a 10% or so bigger economy. 2 conversions to 1, not playing a role. 7 raisings to 0. Of course, when you're raiding with Shrivamshas that attack on us 8, you are relying in basically empty patches of space to bust your way in. Shrivamshas are not going to bust their way into anything unless we're talking about the skull of a crossbowman. And wow, what a fun game. We got to see a single elephant. We got to see both unique units of the Gurjaras, actually all 3 unique units, because they do start with that scout. And we got to see a Karambit just kind of hanging out in front of a building. We also got to see the Xena warrior princesses. And again, I really do wonder if that that description, that analogy is aged, because that is a show that I believe existed in the 1990s, which is a long time before many of you watching this were born. So I'm wondering if I should update the reference from Xena warrior princess, but I don't know. We'll see. I really like Lucy Lawless in that series, and in many other series, including Spartacus, where she was fantastic. But in any event, that is neither here nor there. Enough. You're not here for my movie reviews of M. Night Shyamalan's latest flop. You're not here to listen to me talk about old TV shows from the 90s that no one's ever heard about. You are here to watch Age of Empires, and in this particular game, we saw an absolute epic hold by Mr. Yo, while at the same time thrusting out small clumps of units. At the end of the day, 15 Vil kills to 18, but our Gurjara, with almost 40 more kills on the defensive. Not hard to see why. He's fighting pikemen, he's fighting Karambits, and look at those stats on a Karambit. Like the Shrivamsha, they're not here for a long time. 30 HP is pretty damn little. Small. Weak. But ultimately, the numbers prevail, and Mr. Yo, with the multi-pronged attack that we all love him for, and the hold that we all know him for, does take the W. But GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.